Hello, hello, hello. This is just so everyone's on the same page. I had less time to get to get things set up than I wanted to, but it's okay. I figured it's better to fire it up. This is just so everyone's on the same page. I had less time to get to get things set up than I wanted to, but hello. Better fire it up. This is
I need to do
just so everyone's on the same page. I had less time to get to get things set up than I wanted, but hello. Better fire it up. This is
I need to do
just so everyone's on the same page. I had less time to get things set up than I wanted, but hello. My God, sorry. No, I know what it is. It's the timer going off. And then yeah, okay. I see what happens. I had my own stream open in the background on another window. Better, not an alarm. For a second I thought my cat was screaming upstairs and I thought people were hearing that. Okay. I think I fixed it. Truly, I am the greatest streamer of all time. Okay, so plans for today. I have a couple of things I want to do. Obviously, as the stream title suggests, I'm planning to try and win uh, as many games in a row in different digital TCGs. We'll talk about which ones. Some of them are like the obvious ones, and then I think I'm gonna let you guys vote on which ones to play next. I'm gonna try and stick to games that have official simulators at first, but if we get deep enough into the process, we may need to play some games on some unofficial sims. So I think that'll be fun. But before we get into that, I had a couple of things I wanted to quickly talk about that I thought would be kind of interesting, and they're not quite big enough. Oh, good news, Satsuki. Shadowverse is on my list. I reinstalled it yesterday. I haven't played in like 3 sets, so we're gonna have to figure out what deck I'm playing. But but that one's on the list. That's high on the list even. Um, there are a couple things though I wanted to talk about that I don't think are big enough to make their own video about. Because I like making like longer form videos. I like having stuff that I feel like I can talk like for like 20-ish minutes about at least, and some of these things are a little bit smaller, but I figured I'd do them here. We could chat about them a little bit, and either I'll cut them up into stream highlights and I'll post them, or at least we can chat about them here. um um it's Shadowverse 2. It's Universes Beyond is the one that I've played. How's everyone doing? What time zone are people in? It's morning for me, like quite early. The behind the scenes here is that almost all of my videos are recorded between like 6 and 8 a.m. My time. It's the easiest time for me to record, so that's where I end up doing. So, oh my God, my ad blocker isn't running on this web browser. That's frustrating. Okay. EST. Okay, it's morning. Okay, it's afternoon. I figured there would be some Europe, which was good. Do do do. EST. Okay, we're morning people. Very cool, very cool. I Australia. Sick. Very awesome. Let's see. Edit filters. Delete this. Okay. So I wanted to talk about this really quick. So if you're not familiar with Rift decks, it's I think pretty unequivocally like the best Riftbound um Riftbound like data collection website. There are better ones I think for deck building if you are so inclined, but in terms of actually like looking at results, Riftex is the best by far, and they've been doing some pretty cool stuff with relation to data collection and kind of like what they've been doing with that data. And I wanted to just show this off a little bit and talk about the data that's accessible via Riftex, because I think there's kind of some cool stuff going on. Obviously, I literally posted a video like a day and a half ago now talking about how using data to to balance card games is like sometimes a fraught endeavor. So obviously we're not going to always do it. But it is like very fun to look at, right? And to kind of like talk about and yeah, engage with. So this is the thing that I think is the coolest that they have. They have, oh my god, okay, hold on, I gotta get the ads off this page. It wasn't an incognito browser, but I'll just open this in a regular browser. I can't look at these ads. I can't do it. Let's go back full cam really quick. Sorry, we're iterating here. We're iterating. I'm very sorry. Da, da. Okay. Better? Better. Fewer ads, at least. Okay. At least I have an ad blocker running on this one, so I don't know why these are still showing. Yeah. So like interestingly, like WotC hid data from Magic Online, which is a bit different because you get way more data from something like Magic Online. So what this data is coming from is it's only from tournament matches, and it's basically only from relatively high level tournament matches as well. So anything that's actually run by UVS is going to be captured here. And then there are some tournaments that have been run on TCG Arena, which are captured here as well. Basically anything in which every player is forced to publish a deck list. And so the legend is known. That's going to be calculated here, because if we have the legend and we have the pairings and we have the results, which you will for a lot of tournaments, it'll get captured here. And so overall what that means is that we have this like relatively well populated data matrix. Obviously I think it's kind of the sweet spot, because like for example, like 1300 games of LeBlanc is not like enough that we can definitively say this is exactly what the matchup percent is for every single matchup for this character. But at the same time, it provides some kind of like interesting insights into what the heck is going on. ML Animo, we're chatting about Riftbound data, and then I'm gonna start trying to win games in as many TCGs as possible. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, so like what's going on here is I think there's kind of a very interesting thing to look at here with the play rate of kind of the top 5-ish decks. You can see that down to Misfortune, you have like 900 matches. And then obviously like Master Yi and LeBlanc are the most high represented decks by far. And as a result, they're going to have the most matches. And when you're looking at this data, it can kind of start to inform like what you could possibly conceivably choose to register. Most notably, because you now know approximately what the most popular decks are, you're really like not allowed to register decks that are bad against all of them. And so like as a result, it's interesting. Lilia, for example, got a lot of fanfare at the release of Unleashed, because she's doing something that basically no other legend has been able to do before, which is be really aggressive, like claim battlefields on turn 1 and stuff like that. And you will note she has a bad matchup into the top 6 legends by play rate, which means you just like can't register this leader. You can't play this legend, I don't think, at a tournament and expect to do well. You have a bad matchup into everything. You have an atrocious matchup into something like Master Yi, which has like a 23% win rate. Like it's pretty rough. I realized you guys don't have my cursor. Um, and then similarly, there's also some kind of interesting things showing up because LeBlanc has been the most popular deck by play rate, but it has not had good conversions at large tournaments. And if you were just looking at conversions, you might think, oh, the deck is just bad. But actually, if we look, clearly the issue is related to the fact that it has a negative matchup into like 5 of the 6 most popular matchups you're going to run into. And most notably, it's got like an egregious matchup into a deck like Aurelia. Yeah, so Riftbound is the league TCG. It's pretty fun. I would say it's most comparable to, I mean, at a very broad level, it's most comparable to a game like Magic, but it has like other elements to it that are kind of I don't know, kind of like Riftboundy, kind of One PC, um, those kinds of games as well. It's a lot of combat math and a lot of like individual combats, as opposed to having a more like open-ended win condition. In order to win the game, you have to claim battlefields. There are 2 of them. You bring one, your opponent brings one, and you score a point every time you claim one, and you also score a point every time you start your turn with control of one. And first one to 8 points wins, and you have to either claim both battlefields or score a point by holding a battlefield to win the game. And so what it means is that the games are often very close because both players hold a battlefield for a lot of the games or things like that. But a lot of it has to do with these kind of like micro interactions over fighting over an individual battlefield. I really like it. I think it's super fun. It'll be interesting to see like how they develop the game going forward, because one of the big complaints that people have right now, I can show people, is with this card, the Greater. Oh no. this is Magic. Is with this Dazzling Aurora card. So like one of the reasons this card is like pretty frustrating for people is one, it's crazy expensive. This is Canadian dollars, but it's still quite expensive. And so what this is it's just like an expensive permanent that sits in play and then flips powerful units into play. And this plays like completely different from everything else in the metagame in terms of what it's looking to do. Like it's basically like a ramp strategy that's putting big monsters into play early, and there are just certain decks that can't beat that kind of strategy. And so that does give me like some cause for pause going forward in terms of how they're going to build other macro archetypes, because just to give you an idea, like these top 4 decks are all doing similar things in terms of like fighting for battlefields, using like combat tricks and removal to keep the battlefield. And then Misfortune is trying to like put a big dumb idiot in play and win the game with like an Elder Dragon, which is the biggest unit in the game. Yeah, I think it's possible that Riftbound will have issues with power creep. It's hard to know for sure. One thing I will say that is pretty interesting, like they had big issues with the win rate of their best legend Draven in set 2, and I have a video on the channel talking about that if that's something that you're interested in. You can hear my thoughts on the design issues that went into the game that caused that to happen. But if you look now, Draven is like fully just like very dead. It's 53% win rate and does not have an especially good conversion rate. And what's interesting is like they made bans to this deck to make it worse, but even when Draven was the best deck with like a 65% win rate and representing like 7 of 8 slots in top 8 frequently, the one bad matchup he had was Aurelia. And if you look now that they have nerfed Draven and they didn't really change Aurelia very much, uh, we now have an abominably bad Draven Aurelia matchup. You're like an 8-2 matchup, which means that like I think it's pretty hard to justify registering Draven if you're planning to try and win the tournament, because you just know like there are going to be uh, about 100 Aurelia players at any big tournament, and like, do you really want to run the gambit of if I pair into this twice, I don't make day two? Uh, yeah, they were kind of they were emergency bans. I think that's fair to say. What they did, I actually think was relatively reasonable. They made the choice to do the bans on a cadence of they waited for all of the big tournaments to happen, and then after all the big tournaments had happened, that's when they did the bans. So there was like a 3 or 4 week lull where there weren't any like large scale events happening, and when that happened, that's when they decided to pull the trigger, and they banned 7 cards. They made quite a large quite a large swing. And I think it was a good thing, honestly. Like, to me, it was the best choice they could make for the game in that moment. It was awkward that they had gotten to that point, for sure. Like, I think that in a perfect world they wouldn't have had to do something so drastic, but because they were in that position, I think they made the right choice. Yeah, you can play Riftbound on TCG Arena pretty easily if it's something you're interested in. Um, so if you go to TCG Arena, you can all you have to do is you can install Riftbound as a game, and then it has like a deck editor, which is pretty reasonable. And then once you have your decks, you can go and play. We'll probably end up using this one depending on how far into the process we get. If we get far enough into the process, we're gonna potentially end up needing to use TCG Arena, I think. But yeah, so anyway, so I just wanted to look at this. I think it's really sweet. There's some like very like interesting things that stand out. One of them being that Sivir, which is it's an Aurora deck. It's one of those ramp decks. And like, so Sivir has a 61% win rate. People were kind of lauding it as like the darling of the most recent big tournament. And I was kind of thinking like, why is this deck being so successful? And you can see pretty clear answers as to why, which is that it has a very good matchup into Master Yi, the second most popular deck. And then it also has a favorable matchup into Misfortune, which is the other Aurora deck. So it's getting all the benefits of having this like fairly polarized matchup table. And then it's also winning the kind of pseudo mirror, which I think is interesting. And then like the rest of the decks, I think, kind of fall in line. Like, you basically, what I was kind of extracting from this is, in order to be a top deck, I think you need to have a positive win rate against 2 of the other 4 top decks. And you can see, right, like Sivir, good matchups into everything other than LeBlanc. Master Yi has good matchups into everything other than Misfortune and Sivir, which is farther down in play rate. It'll probably spike up now. Like, Aurelia is like this very flat matchup table deck. It's good against almost everything, but never like crazy incredible, except into Draven, which it has like almost an 80% win rate, which is kind of crazy. And Teemo, okay, it crushes Teemo too, good to know. But like down here, this is all just noise. Like, this is not enough data. But yeah, so anyway, some fun stuff. If we go all the way down to the bottom of the of the matchup chart, here are the decks you don't want to play. And people have known this. Like, these 4 legends down here, like, everyone has known these are the 4 worst legends in the game for basically the entirety of their existence. But like, there are some truly abominable matchup tables down here. And one of the interesting things is that these 2 were the ones that I thought were kind of interesting as well. So both Rek'Sai and Ari were decks that were kind of like fringe playable in the first second set of Riftbound's existence. And now I don't think that you could advocate for registering them, right? Like, a 40% overall win rate is just not something that you can plan to outskill your way into a good placing at a tournament with. But I was like, why? Like what's happening? And then when you look, you can very clearly see the problem here. Like when you have it in Ari's case, no good matchups against the rest of the top decks, that's obviously going to be a problem. And then in LeBlanc's case, like when you have a 7-3 matchup against two of the three top decks, it's just going to be challenging to justify registering something like that. So yeah, the 0% are pretty funny. I mean, a lot of those are just to do with the fact that there's not enough data, like that people haven't played enough matches, and then there's like a couple of hundreds too when you where you have low matchup data as well, which is kind of funny. But I think this is really sweet. This is more data than most trading card games get, and if you're like a big data person, this is I think very cool to look at. The other thing they have for metagame data that I think is neat is this field conversion tier list. So what they're doing is essentially they're looking at what representation oh, thanks, Kiwi. Um, they're looking at how many people register the deck, and then based on how many people register the deck at the tournament, they're looking at how many people converted to the top 50% of the tournament, the top 25% of the tournament, the top 10% of the tournament, and have won the tournament based on how many you would expect to do so. And then they're composing like a composite score. There's a full explanation of how the weighting works down below. And then they have a rating for how confident they are in this rating based on the number of tournaments and the number of deck entrants. And I think this is like um, a pretty interesting way to like evaluate the overall performance of a deck, because it starts to be able to get rid of some of the data issues related to like, are all of these decks built the same? Is the play skill the same? Like at the end of the day, if a deck is converting to the top 50% of a tournament at a higher clip than you would expect for it to, adjusted for its entry level, I think it's very interesting. Hey, Perman. Um, yeah. So anyway, so this is, I don't know. I think this is pretty sweet too. The couple of ones here that I think are surprising that you wouldn't necessarily expect. The one that surprises me is Draven, because as I pointed out, I think it's challenging to justify registering Draven in a metagame where just to go back and look, like I think it's challenging to justify registering Draven in a metagame where you have a 20% matchup against Aurelia. Aurelia has an 80% win rate against the deck. Uh yeah, conversion rates definitely drop as lower skilled players drop off from playing the deck. That's also true. And so you see decks with higher skill expression typically represented a little bit higher, assuming they don't have a ton of bad players registering them. But yeah, so like that's one of the interesting things. Like I think they have Draven here rated highly, but I think if you then went and looked at the metagame data a little bit more closely, you might decide, you know what, I probably don't want to play Draven because it has two 8-2 matchups and also like another pretty poor matchup into a relatively popular deck. Um, so like this is like kind of an interesting thing. Like you can start to combine these kinds of data to evaluate like what kind of decks you might be interested in registering. I think one of the most interesting things from the conversion data that we have is that they have LeBlanc rated as like just average, and it's only just barely average. A 1.0 would be average, and it's a 1.03 conversion multiplier, or 1.04, sorry, their composite conversion multiplier is. And if you look, it's the most played deck. It has more matches than any other deck. But when you look at why, it's very obvious. The top three other decks in the metagame crush you. And then even when you get a little bit beyond that, other decks that are near the top as well, you have a really challenging time into. But LeBlanc, kind of what you can see from this data, exists as like a bit of a brew killer. Like a lot of these decks that are lower down in the play rate stages just have like really bad LeBlanc matchups because they can't beat the linear thing that she's doing. So yeah, anyway, pretty cool. I think this is very interesting. I really think that this style of data is maybe a happy medium, because this isn't capturing data from all online events or every online game. So you're not ending up with like a level of certainty around these matchups that's based on 10,000 games. You're ending up with matchup data based on like 1,500 games, which I think is a uh, more reasonable kind of position to be in. It'll mean that the metagame doesn't get solved too quickly, but it does mean that if you're someone who's like a tournament player who's choosing between multiple different decks, you have some interesting stuff to look at to kind of like base both your deck building choices and your deck building your legend choice in the case of Riftbound, exactly, as well, which I think is sweet. I think this kind of stuff is really cool. um so yeah. Anyway, this is what I got on this. I didn't think that this would be long enough to make a whole video on, and also like I am not a data scientist, and I don't pretend to be. That is not my day job. So I can only look at this data and abstract as much out of it as I think maybe an average person and maybe a below average amount than other people could. So I didn't want to speak from a position of like, oh look, I know how to read this data. But I thought it would be fun to talk about. Um, okay, so let's get into the plans proper for today. Like I mentioned, we are going to be attempting to win as many different games as possible in a row. What I'll do, I think, is as we win them, I will put them in a little note on the screen so that we can track what we've so far gotten a win in. And if I lose, do you guys think I should reset if I lose, or do you just want me to play as many games as possible? I'm happy to go either way. I thought it would be fun to reset and make my life kind of miserable potentially, but I'm down for either option, and I'm here for whatever you think is better. Oh. Yeah, I think people playing whatever deck that they like is a very real thing in a game like Riftbound, especially where the legend is really like I something that people are going to identify with as well. Um, Reset when I lose. Yeah, I think that sounds better. Yeah, okay. We'll reset. I think reset sounds good. But yeah, like in Riftbound, you're going to get some amount of metagame data related to people pet decking. You're going to get some amount of metagame data related to the fact that their large tournaments have the best of setup, where if you are the highest performing player for a specific deck, you get a metal card that's worth like quite a lot of money. So there's like in some ways incentive to just be the best at a deck that is not going to have that good of a win rate as well, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so I have auto battlers on the list, but I'm gonna do them last because like a team fight tactics game takes like 30 minutes. And I think that I would be very down to do a team fight tactics stream. I haven't actually played very much of this set, so if I was gonna do that, I would want to play enough to not just feel like I was gonna fully flounder. Um, Looking for a game to capture. I don't agree. There's a game on the screen. What is going on? Oh, of course. No, yeah. Definitely, we have to play against a real player for sure. Ooh, I have a daily to claim. Huge. Oh, it's the 50. It's the 50 gem daily. Even better. Um. Okay, so we could either finish Dice Rally. I still have one more layer to do. But I think I've just been playing the Heck of Hands pre-constructed deck in Dice Rally. It's been pretty fun. But I think what we'll do is I do need to rank up a bit more this season. Um so okay, this was the deck I was gonna play. Uh it's it's like very degenerate, but at the same time I think it'll save us time because we don't necessarily have to sit through an opponent's turn if we set up a board and just have to beat their board. If they don't have anything, we just win. Um, so let's fire one with this. If you're not familiar with Mitsurugi FTK, it's actually pretty simple. all things considered. It turns out that the Mitsurugi cards just make too much material. All right, well, we lost the die roll, so there's the perfect chance to chat. The nice thing about this deck, what I like about it, is that like going first, if they don't have anything, you just win the game, and then going second, you just like are still a Mitsurugi deck playing into them, and so like a lot of the time you can have enough gas to just push through some end boards. This hand's not very good. What are we playing against? Oh god, Centurion. I know so little about this deck. Okay. I don't think you ash this one. Oh, you can't even ash this one, sorry. Okay, yep. Very good. Oh. Yeah, I know. I actually considered building it, and then the Fanatics ban killed my dreams. Okay, so if this card had a Centurion, is this the Ash target? Like, they haven't normal summoned yet. Yeah, I kind of figured my Ash does very little. All right, we'll just leave it for now. Yep. Bone Archfiend. Oh, I'm gonna Ash this. Maybe we can cut them off this. Uh, yeah. I am in platinum, so we're gonna be playing against a myriad of the finest garbage. um, but I'm not I'm not super optimistic of our prospects here. I gotta say, the old double Lamia opener is not exactly what you draw up when you register this deck. Yep, very good. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Good. Yep. It's not scary at all. Uh, that actually doesn't matter. That's the one good thing about this FTK deck. Yeah. Okay. Do we count this? Does this count? I will say they messed up, and I was gonna win, uh, because I was gonna FTK them. They didn't have a negate. They needed an Omni there to beat me. And I okay. I feel like you know what? This is gonna be hard enough as it is. I'm gonna count that this time, but I won't count people just conceding without playing their turn. Okay, hold on. We gotta add a note for games one. Average Master Duel game. Yep. Hello, Hopper. We'll see how many cats end up on stream today. Usually when I'm recording videos, I don't get more than one, but this will be longer, so you'll get the full cat experience. Duh, duh, duh. Oh my gosh. All right, the jumping between games is going to be a bit weird, but I did set up a decent amount of them. Oh my god. Way smaller. Way smaller. That's better. Okay. That's probably not going to be high contrast enough, but that's fine. Um, This is what I have to deal with, by the way. This is my intrepid orange cat, Hopper. He's not not disruptive at all to my day-to-day life. And by not disruptive at all, I mean incredibly disruptive. So I'm gonna start with official sims, but if we get far enough into the run, we will switch to unofficial sims. I have four games with official sims set up to start, and then if we get to five, which I'm not sure we're getting to five, if I'm being really realistic. If we get to five, then we'll switch to an unofficial sim. Yeah, I it's called Apricot. Oh my god, that's a great name. Yeah, he doesn't have very much apricot on him. The little tip of his tail is apricot, and then the rest of him is pretty thoroughly orange. Oh my god, don't bite me, dude. Come on. Get it together. Okay. Ow, ow, ow. Jesus. Okay, so the next one is the obvious one. Obviously, it's Arena is our clear next choice. You think we get to five for sure? You have so much more confidence. It's possible I'm gonna feel like I fully underprepared for this. I didn't install BlueStacks to put Pokemon Pocket on my computer. That's the other game that I play with enough regularity that it would be easy to do. Okay, so I actually haven't played Arena in a little bit. So we're gonna play. I don't have as many options here. We're gonna play this Is It Spelementals deck. It's like I think a reasonable choice. The basic idea with this deck and the reason why it's good, we're gonna play best of one, is that this card Sunderflock is exceptionally good into the metagame threat that is Badgermole Cub. They basically like build out their whole board and then you Sunderflock them and return their entire board to their hand and win the game. So I think it's a good choice. We're gonna have the reason why you play this deck is that you end up with some nice free wins, and we will play best of one rather than best of three. I think again for purposes of speed. Yeah, it makes me sad that Izzet is kind of like the bad guy in standard Magic now because of like VV and everything like that. Because I think Izzet is my favorite color pair, but like it almost feels unethical for that to be true now. I'm on the draw. This has a removal spell. This has, yeah. I mean, this is a key. It's unexciting, but it is a key. Oh my. Dreamroot Cascade could be a decent amount of things. Yeah, the Universes Beyond of it all is definitely something. I am totally sympathetic to people for whom Universes Beyond was the point at which they decided that was enough standard Magic for them. I think I'm just gonna spell this. Good trade of resources. You don't mind me, I'm being attacked out off screen. Oh yeah, you know what? That's fair. Let me turn Arena down. I forgot I have my sounds off on Master Duel. My apologies. Bad streamer. Is that better? I've turned it down substantially. Yeah, this can just enter tapped. And oh, oops, not discard my hand. We'll just pass, and I will either Prismari Charm or something else. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna resolve. I do wish I had my Spell Pierce back now, but oh, I could have bounced this. Maybe that was the line, hey? Okay, audio's better. Very good. I think the line was bounced this. Sorry, I'm looking at chat, trying to fix sound, being bitten by a cat. Okay, we'll see if we can find the happy middle ground on game sounds. Okay, well, I do think I don't need this burst lightning. I do kind of want this Hearth Elemental, just because I think I need to end the game, but I also would like to find another land. Okay, yeah, that's good. Alright, let's fire up the Sleight of Hand. The Spell Pierce is looking particularly bad in the wake of what they've got going on now. What do I have in my graveyard so far? I've got 4. I've got 3. I've got 3, so this Edinburgh Crab is going to still cost a fair amount. Yeah, I mean, we're going to take the Spell Pierce. I will cast the Hearth Elemental. And then pass. Have 2. No, my cat would do this if I was paying only attention to him. If I wasn't paying attention to him, he craves blood, as far as I can tell. Oh, how nice of them to play directly into the Spell Pierce. Yeah. Okay, well, let's fire off this Winter Night Stories. Look for a land. Didn't find an untapped one, which is unfortunate, but both of these impractical jokes are not it. We did find another Spell Pierce, which, with any luck, will serve us well. I do need to start attacking. I would love to cast this Winter Night Stories for one, but I believe this matchup is one in which I need to be on the beatdown. I don't have that many hard counters in my deck either, which is going to be a problem in the long term. Banish Face Down it's relatively unique. Magic has had Banish Face Down before. Can we stop with the trying to draw cards? I am in bronze, so like Magic is going to be easier at first, but if we have to reset a bunch of times, it's obviously, well, I don't know, maybe not obviously, but with any luck it'll get harder. Oh, nice. Claim my dailies. Okay, we have one MTG. Okay. Easy. 2 games down, simple as. So, yeah, I mean, Banishment Face Down is unique-ish to Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic has done Banish Face Down before for a couple of things. Like there are cards that exile Face Down. But yeah, in general, it's more common in Yu-Gi-Oh! Than it is in most other games, I think. Yeah, if they surrender, it is going to be a fast 5. Don't worry. I think we are now on the game that I'm not gonna. So those are like the 2 games that I've either been playing or have played the most of historically, and so I have good context for. So for frame of reference for everyone, I haven't played Shadowverse in 2 or 3 months at this point. Basically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been eating up most of the phone game time that I would be spending on this. So, Golden Week celebration. Oh, no, that's okay. So one thing I will say about this game that I think is kind of cool is they do have this functionality where you can just like go and look at like decks that are winning. And it's like relatively reasonably sourced. They just recently did their first rotation, so they're now making it so that it's just like a standard 6 sets at all times, which means when a new one gets released, one rotates out. And I actually kind of like that rotation strategy, rather than like building up to whatever block size you're going to build to and then rotating a bunch of things at once. I kind of like the idea that as new sets come out, they also implicitly rotate other things out. And Yeah, so the only set that's out of rotation right now is the first set, which is unfortunate because that did have my favorite deck, the Runecraft combo deck. But I am just gonna build this deck, I think, because I have the vials to craft it. I at least know how this deck works. Yeah, I guess we'll prioritize premium cards. So if anyone has not played Shadowverse before, I will fire it up. It is basically it's got like very like Hearthstone type bones, I would say. Like a lot of the things that are going on in this game are reminiscent of mechanics that you would find in Hearthstone. But the things that it's doing differently. Oh my god, I'm an emerald. The things that it's doing differently are, the big thing is the evolve mechanic. And so what the evolve mechanic is that it is a resource that both players have access to. You have 2 evolves and 2 super evolves, and those give cards extra stats, and they also allow them to attack other units the turn they come into play, the turn they come into play, the turn they can't. And so what that means is that you end up with this game that is very high tempo. A lot of the games end up being about, like, can you clear your opponent's board? Can you not clear your opponent's board? Yeah, Shadowverse, if I recall, is super loud. Let me tune us down a little bit. Okay, so we definitely don't want this. I kind of want this one. I think this is fine, although my hand is a little bit slow. So anyway, so I've been playing for a little while, so we'll see. I might get crushed. We're playing against Havencraft, playing Amulets. Okay, countdown, draw 2, deal 2 to all enemy followers, restore 2. That's fine. Not a problem. I think that there's more to... I think there's more than that. There definitely are TCGs that are just worse versions of Magic, and that's something that maligned early TCG. Well, not early TCG game design, actually. More like kind of, I think, mid 2000s, early 2010s TCG game design. A lot of these games, a lot of games that came out were very clearly trying to like crib Magic's homework, and that didn't vibe very well. And now, obviously, I think people are doing a better job of figuring it out. I think I do just have to play the Cagliostro. Obviously, we just get in for one. Yeah, isn't there a Digimon Sim coming out soon? I had aspirations of playing the Digimon Sim when it comes out. Digimon Allison or something like that. The Digimon resource system to me looks really interesting, and I'd love to play more of it. It reminds me of the old Lord of the Rings trading card games resource system, actually. Mercy. Okay. Sorry that I'm not narrating exactly what's going on here. Truth be told, I don't fully know. Okay, this is going to summon a 4/5 that restores 2 with Bane and Ward. Ward is like Taunt in Hearthstone if you're a Hearthstone player, and Bane is like Death Touch in Magic. This does look challenging. I think we might be in trouble here because I'm not really sure what my win condition is in this particular matchup. Like currently I have a bunch of tempo, but okay, I think we're gonna push 5 damage, and I do think we will jam this, get the double evolve, because I do think our win condition involves this. Finding my other copy of this and winning the game is fine.
Believe in this guy.
Oh my god. Havencraft's so good. This is going to be the one we get we get stuck on. We can potentially... So the other official sim game that I have loaded up, ready to go, is Marvel Snap, which is obviously much faster. So worst case, if we... if we reset on this too many times, maybe we'll switch to doing Snap as the third game to try and get across that number 3 threshold. But yeah, this was always in my mind going to be one of the harder ones, because I was going to be relearning it to an extent. Or worst case, if we... I'm really not doing myself any favors, to be honest, like by choosing only official sim games first. Like, I could play both the Star Wars Unlimited and Riftbound unofficial sims, and like I would have a much better chance in both of those games since I've been playing a lot of them. Okay. I mean, this is actually not so bad. So this is going to count down. Does it have an engage? No. So we have like a fair amount of time. This is going to summon a Holy Falcon. I do believe that we are fine to... I could just trade this 5-1, but I think I want to push damage. So I think we're just going to kill this.
What do I believe?
And one thing that you get to do sometimes in this game is use your evolves. You can use them for tempo, but you can also just use them to kill your opponent. Actually, look, I won. Easy peasy. Game is simple. I was looking at chat. I didn't even realize I had lethal.
Victory is mine. That feels correct.
Wow, easy. Cool. I'm definitely gonna come back and play some more Shadowverse. This game's really fun. It's just like, as I say, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and this was the game that I had been playing right when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh ate up all my time. It was it was dominating. Yes, we did win the game. Damn, he's good. I know, I'm cooking. Okay, well, we're only one game away from... Oh, whoops. Sorry. I forgot to add something to the... Okay, hold on. We'll just add it here as well. We're only one game away from having to hit the unofficial sims, which if I'm being really, really honest with everyone, I did not think was happening. I was pretty sure we were resetting like 5 times, but Shadowverse. Okay. Now, this is going to get weird again because I've also not played a ton of Marvel Snap in the most recent time frame. Am I 13 years and older? Oh, geez. Does it not think I'm signed in? Okay. I feel like Digimon, the thing for me is I find learning games on unofficial sims challenging. I think it's really nice to have the guardrails of an official sim, or an auto sim at least, to kind of make sure you don't do something like crazy illegal. But at the same time, like, it's obviously possible. Okay, so like, here's the thing, right? What are we gonna play? How do game lengths compare? They're, so far, the 3 games we've played so far are relatively comparable. Like a single game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic is probably similar time period. Shadowverse, on average, is a little faster. And then this game that we're about to play, Marvel Snap, is much faster. Yeah, like learning Yu-Gi-Oh! without something telling you what to do, I think is going to be really challenging. So a lot of my decks are quite old. Again, I have not played a ton of Marvel Snap in recent days, but I think we can probably work with this. If I'm being honest, I think this destroy deck feels like it's probably powerful enough that it's just gonna be fine to register. I'm just trying to decide if I want to play Nimrod or not, and I also want to make sure that none of my cards have different text from when I last played. Nope. All right. Yeah, we're gonna run it with this classic destroy deck. So if you've never played Marvel Snap, it is very fast, and one of the big things that's kind of interesting about it is a big part of the mechanic is the fact that when you are playing, you can snap and basically say to your opponent, I think I'm going to win this game. And there's almost this like poker gambling element where you're raising and re-raising. Oh, this is interesting. So 1-cost cards can't be played here. And now a bunch of stuff costs 1. And then they have location mechanics that make it so that every game has this like relatively diverse feeling. Yeah. Oh, dude, Hex was so much fun. I played so much Hex. Um, I think that game, speaking of games that were just kind of cribbing Magic's homework, that's definitely what was going on with Hex, like to a level where they clearly got word from someone that it was like not acceptable for them to continue to do so, which is a shame, I think. Like, I think I want more fodder for Carnage than Wolverine, so as non-tempo positive as it is, I think I'm just gonna play Venom here. Um, you don't feel like Snap is a TCG? It's a deck. You build a deck and you collect cards, and then you play the cards against other people. I agree. It's one of the weaker ones of the ones we've played, but it's definitely a TCG. Oh my god, we're playing against Mr. Negative, huh? Okay, yeah. See, so my opponent has snapped. They have said that they feel like they're winning this game. They did get to play Mr. Negative on turn 3, which, if I'm being transparent, does likely mean that they are in a much better state to win this game than I am. Well, how real are my chances of winning this game? They're like basically 0, but for the sake of the streak, I think I have to keep playing. This is the one awkward thing about Snap for sure, is that you do kind of have to just play. Even though if I was playing on the ladder trying to maximize my potential point earnings, I would have just retreated here when they snapped, because Mr. Negative is a really powerful play. Basically what this does, it swaps the power and cost of all cards in your deck. So you play all these things that are like 5/0s that have strong, powerful, like recurring, like ETBs or persistent effects. And yeah, I don't know. It's pretty sick. Oh my god. My deck is so bad. I get to replace a location. Could be good. I think I want to replace the Elysium. I think I will Arnim Zola first, and then I will replace the Elysium. Elysium pretty rough for me, to be honest, unfortunately. Yeah, Gwent is another one, another tragic tale of misery. Oh, okay, that's the better one to hit, because now I get to make extra Wolverines in both areas. And I'm winning Mojo World. Oh yeah, drawing Deadpool is not the draw though. I mean, I'm gonna play because like I said, the streak probably ends here, and we'll have to go back. But yeah, Snap might end up being the gatekeeper. We'll see. Like, obviously, they might just have nothing. They have nothing. All right, we won. I, truly, I think there's something to be said about uh playing games at the low ranks. Okay. Well, um I got to be so honest. I did not think this was going to go remotely close to this well. Um I was fairly certain that we were gonna like reset on Yu-Gi-Oh 3 times and then have to switch decks more times on top of that. Uh okay, hold on. I've missions to claim. This will show you how little Marvel Snap I've been playing. Although if you want, if we can quickly before we go on, if you like Marvel stuff, by the way, and you haven't played Marvel Snap, their monetization early was quite bad. And I would not have advocated playing the game. And unfortunately, a lot of my monetization is a lot of my collection is from a time where the monetization was pretty rough. But I think that my understanding, at least, is that if you got into the game now, while it would take a while to get to the point of having a complete collection, that once you are collection complete, you could stay collection complete for not a crazy, crazy amount of investment. Um, I mean, I didn't prepare that much. I prepared the games, like I knew which games we were gonna play, and I made sure I had the capacity to play a deck in all of them. Um, so okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so we're done with Marvel Snap. So now, now we have to decide. I have two options. We could finish. Finish. I don't know if we're done at a 5-0. I'll keep playing, but I could either install BlueStacks, I think it is, and we could play Pokemon Pocket, which is the other game that I play frequently that has an official sim. Uh, or we could switch to unofficial sims. What are the thoughts? Feelings? Oh yeah, Duelist was sick as well. I liked Duelist. Isn't there a Duelist 2 as well? There's a second Duelist. While we're in this intermission, I will just briefly um are you guys familiar with Warhammer Warpforge? Remember this game? Remember this game? It's like this was the other one I was gonna play. Like I still had it on my phone, even I hadn't even gotten to that point yet. And yeah, I don't know. So this game was like another kind of Hearthstone-y clone, and it just like died. Like it got canceled after only like 2 years of existence. Uh and like, man, I don't know. It's so strange. So like basically, if you are not familiar with Warpforge, essentially it was another like very similar Yu-Gi-Oh clone. Or not a Yu-Gi-Oh clone, sorry, a Hearthstone clone. They were doing like some interesting different stuff where units, instead of having only one attack, they had two different attacks. They had like ranged attack and melee attack. Um and yeah, so it created like some interesting strategic depth, but it just shut down. It just shut down after really not very long at all. Um Kind of crazy. And they only ran for like 2 years, and they were like running microtransactions purchases and stuff like up until like 2 months before they just shuttered the service. It was like a real bummer. Okay, so to answer the other question, if we played unofficial, the options are TCG Arena or Carabast, which is the fan-made Star Wars the Star Wars. Do I not have a saved deck? Oh, I don't have any decks saved. Um if I'm being totally honest, I think my odds of winning a game of Star Wars are better. Here, let's run a poll. I'll get a deck together for both, and then but you guys can decide which one you want. Uh, it's not yes, no. It's Star Wars or Riftbound. So the other option we could play is Riftbound. What game next? What game next? All right, fire it up, and I'll do what as you command. I'm totally sympathetic if we want to try and sabotage me because we think this is going too well. I think I'm more likely to win a game of Star Wars, and I think that the Riftbound experience is probably marginally better. All right, put this here. Oh wow, it's like a dead heap. Sure, it's currently. Yeah, I've looked into Duel Links. I mean, part of the issue with something like Duel Links is that the monetization model is like kind of atrocious, right? Oh my god, 50-50, 50-50, 100. Same thing with something like Rush Duel. Like I think that the monetization model on that game is also like kind of awkward. And so like I haven't spent a ton of time looking into it, like because we could play, like you can just play Star Wars. Okay, it looks like the winner is Riftbound, but it's very close. Oh my god, it's just 50-50. All right, I'll let it go for another minute, and I will. I actually realized I think my deck list is a little outdated. We won't play something like crazy meta in Riftbound. If we play Riftbound, what do we want to play? I'll play Kazakhs if I'm playing Riftbound. I'll play this Kazakhs deck. How does this list look? Looks fine. I don't hate it. Yeah, sure. Export THT. Decks. Create deck. New. Create deck. Import. Save. All right. All right, where do we end up on? Okay, I think we've ended up on Riftbound by a single vote. So we'll see. We'll see. um, when I heard Master Duel was announced, people were really worried about the monetization because Duel Links was so bad. Yeah, and I mean the Riftbound, or not the Riftbound, sorry, the Master Duel monetization. Like as far as a mobile game goes, it's not terrible. As far as a trading card game goes, it's also like it's not terrible either, I guess. The big thing for me is the thing that I've always found with Master Duel that's been frustrating for me is like my desire to kind of like pivot between decks makes playing Master Duel really frustrating, but I've had to really like focus on on just containing those feelings and not trying to build too many decks and just learning how to play a couple of decks well because it's so unaffordable to constantly swap between decks. Early era TCGs that I played Warlord. I played quite a lot of Warlord. Um, Actually, here, hold on. I have a cool thing to show people. I just have to turn my camera off for a second, but okay. So I'm like a trading card game. I am a child of nerds. Is the here we'll go full cam for this actually. I'm a child of nerds, fair to say. And uh as a result, we played quite a lot of trading card games when I was younger. And of the early ones, one of the ones we played a lot was Warlord. I don't know if anyone is going to be familiar with this one, but recently uh my dad sent me all of the old Warlord models or all of the old Warlord decks that we had, and like this box is insane. Give you a sense of how big it is. Um, but it's pretty cool. So like these are like your 1999 cardboard boxes, and then here I just have like hundreds of Warlord cards. So that's one of the ones that I played a lot of when I was younger. Uh, Kind of exciting. My dad sent me all of the cards recently, so I'm gonna probably try and put some decks together. Um, so I played that one. I played the WoW TCG. That one I think is post 2000, but that's one of the early ones I remember playing. I played the Lord of the Rings trading card game with my dad. I played Magic from I played Magic in the early 2000s, like casually with my friend, and then I like drafted Time Spiral Block. That's the first time that I like went to an LGS and played tournaments for Magic. Yeah, the WoW TCG, like pre Hearthstone, in this would have been mid 2000s. The WoW TCG would have been. That one was quite fun. Um, and then what else did I play? Microphone falling over. Um. Oh yeah, I played Duel Masters. I had Duel Masters cards. I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had Magic cards. I played Warlord. Was the main game that I played when I was younger. That was the big one. And then like we played like some one-off games from time to time as well. Um, but yeah, for the most part, um, I'm trying to think. Those are the main ones. Those are like the main ones that I have like really like vivid memories of playing. Um, and then like I played some tabletop miniatures games as well. So like I had a bunch of Warhammer models and stuff growing up as well. Although uh that's my dad's hobby, not mine. He's like crazy talented at painting. Um, so I think he more did that for himself than for me. That back in the closet. Fix this camera a little bit. Whew. Okay. I don't know if I'll try to qualify for Worlds. I never really like think of myself as being like an especially good player of card games. I always like I think I'm like probably in like the 40th percentile of trading card game players. Like I'm like a little better than average, but really only a little bit. Um but like I don't know, I do like competing. Depending on what the process is like, I would think about it. What do you do? Do you play is there like a world championship qualifier that you play you have to qualify for? What's the It also depends on what the time investment is to make the qualifier, because I know obviously like some games make you play a ton of hours just to even be eligible to play the qualifier, and I wouldn't be able to do that necessarily. You grind like hell for a weekend. Is that the Duelist Cup? Yeah, grind like hell for a weekend is less viable for me as a solution. Um, yeah. Okay, let's make this a little smaller because Riftbound does require a bit more space. Yeah, the only thing we know for sure is that I'm 100th percentile. Correct. Yeah. Or is it 0th percentile? I don't even. This will tell you how much I know about stats. It's a duelist cup with a different name because it's the world championship qualifier. I guess is the idea. Um. Okay. I'm just looking to make sure this is not quite right in terms of visibility. Let me add a different window capture. We're really we're doing it live here. I again did not expect to get this far. If I'm being totally honest, I did not. Did not think we would get here. Oh, that's too far. There we go. You qualify by winning, and then you also qualify. You get some points for placing high, so you can also qualify through. Oh, okay, I see. I see. Yeah, the process for like Duelist Cup of playing that amount is like kind of bananas. I don't even usually hit the second stage of Duelist Cup personally. It's just so much time, and it's like I don't have the ability to commit that much time. Yeah, so for Magic, my highest card game result lifetime. It's not that high. I've won like what's like I'm trying to think of what the biggest prize I've won is. I've lost in the finals of a couple of PPTQs when that was the system for Magic. Uh I missed day 2 of a Grand Prix by one game. Like I really am, I think, like a very average to like potentially even slightly below average. Well, I'm above average if you put every Magic player in the pool, but if you just talk about competitive Magic players, I think I'm below average. Or competitive card game players, I think I'm below average. I in 2015 I missed day 2 of Grand Prix Vancouver playing four color Zoo Twin, Splinter Twin with Wild Nacatl because that card had just gotten unbanned. That was pretty sweet. But no, I in general I don't have that many like that many super high finishes or anything like that. I Yeah. Like I win I've won locals, like I win locals all the time. Like that's not abnormal. Like 4 round locals, I'll win those. But in terms of like bigger tournaments, I also haven't played that much really competitive TCGs. Like I played like I was on like the Magic circuit for a little while playing PPTQs and PTQs. And then um and then after that, like I've played 3 or 4 Grand Prix. Like I really haven't had that much time to play competitive card games. Like depending on where you are geographically, it can be kind of hard as well. In Canada, I don't know. I'm Canadian, obviously. I think that's pretty clear. Highlander leagues too count too. I mean, I've won a number of Highlander nights, yeah. But like a lot of the places I've lived in Canada have had somewhat challenging travel restrictions when it comes to getting to places that would have bigger events. Like if you live in Ontario or Quebec, you're chilling. It's fine. It's very easy. But I've mostly lived on the peripheries on like the east and west coast, and so it's not as it's not as easy if you're not in central Canada, and it's not like the states where you can drive from one state to another in like 6 or 7 hours or whatever. You really in Canada, like if you're in one province, you're in that province and you're either flying or you're driving for like 15 hours one way. So it's pretty tricky, honestly, to play to be like a grinder, per se, even if it's something that like you want to do. Okay, let's fire up Riftbound. We can jam. This sounds good. Yeah, XYZ. Yeah. Uh, okay, so of note, this is an unofficial sim, which means that oh my god, this person chose bizarre battlefields. What are we playing against again? We're playing against Victor. So this is like Victor is like a control deck basically. I think I will. Oh, they disconnected. All right. Well, we'll try again. We won't count that one, obviously. Yeah. Like Ontario, and like I lived in Quebec for a little while, and like unfortunately, when I lived in Quebec, part of that time was during the pandemic. Kaisa, Kaisa. It's definitely not Zonwarns. It's either the Arena's Greatest or Forbidding Wastes. I think it's just Forbidding Wastes. Choose starting player. Me. I will go first. Okay, Mr. Root is great. Actually, this hand is just in general pretty strong. I think I'm going to throw back the Grim Resolve, which is just a combat trick. And just got to make sure they're done. It's kind of cool. I actually haven't played this one that much more. Clearly, they've added a decent amount of automation to it, which is nice. I know Riot told them that it can't get too automated, basically, like that it has to stay relatively manual. But this is pretty good. I should play more. Oh, they're hitting me with the thumbs ups. I should have expected with the username toxic. Oh, you guys can't see. Hold on. Their username is toxic. Who's played Riftbound before in this chat? Are we mostly non-Riftbound players? I can pass to me Jesus. I feel like we might be reporting this guy. Oh, they didn't do anything. Very cool. Well, let's move here. Yep, that's fine. I need to add an experience counter. Oh, it's not here? This person's gonna leave the game, by the way. This is the issue with unofficial simulators. This person clearly has no time to be playing a game with me, and as a result, they are gonna leave. But so we can either take a removal spell, we can take one of their 2 units. I think with the texture of my hand, I'm just going to take Falling Star. Falling Star is a removal spell. And what I'm trying to do is basically set up a situation where I can score twice with Void Assault. So, oh yeah, this person is toxic. Jesus. They don't want to talk to anyone. But yeah, so the basic idea with this game is that you are trying to conquer these battlefields. So this is mine, this is my opponent's. When you conquer, you score a point. If you hold, you score a point. And you can score up to 2. And in a turn. And then there are 6 different colors. So there's kind of a magic-y color pie vibe to it in that regard. Different legends, which you choose, have different abilities. Which kind of like inform what you're gonna do. A LoL player being toxic, I know, truly unbelievable. Um, um, and then yeah, basically from here, like you, I gained 2 XP. From that, And yeah, so basically the texture of the games are informed by what? Oh, I see. Yeah. I almost don't want to count this because this person is like not engaging in this game in good faith. And they're like trying to rush through everything, but I think I think we will just because uh it had to go wrong eventually. Incorrect. I got 2 from Kazakhs. I'm actually at 3. Yes. This person is kind of a chud. Okay, so I can make this a 2, but I think I'm just supposed to move here and score. And you get these players IRL as well. This counts. Fair enough. Yeah, hard to explain the game at the same time. But yeah, so basically we're trying to conquer battlefields. My deck is kind of like a tricky move deck that's like trying to put the opponent in. Yeah, this person is like giga toxic, Jesus. This person is unbelievably annoying. Holy. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah. Kind of an unfortunate intro to the game for people, I feel like. But it is what it is. Okay, we will isolate this thing. I wish there was an official client. If there was an official client, I would be playing on that because yeah, I find stuff like this really annoying when people behave like this. It's just like it's just so like childish, you know? Hmm. Um, what am I doing from here? Is all your experience with this game on Sims? No, I play in person as well. Um, I learned how to play this game on Sims. I'm gonna lose this game, by the way, unfortunately. Um, they have had quite a good draw. But yeah, anyway, so I think this game is like pretty interesting. Time warp. You got it, boss. All right, we have lost. Unfortunate, unfortunate. All right, well, it was bound to happen eventually. The streak had to end. It's a shame it had to end against a person named Literal Toxic, but uh, all right. Back to the beginning. Now the question is, I think I have to keep the same order, uh, since that's what I started with. So that's what I'll do. Um, so we'll go back to Master Duel, which is good in a lot of ways. I think it's better to get back to an official sim for exactly that reason. Honestly, like it's a big part of why um I think unofficial sims are like great and all in terms of like the accessibility they give people to playing the game, but when you run into like players like that or experiences like that, it can be pretty awkward, I think. All right. Oh my god, my hair is in rough shape today. Today is a hair washing day. I had left it up, but it's starting to bother me, so we're just gonna have to deal with it being down. All right. All right. Back to the old Master Duel. Master Duel Skull Servant deck? I don't have a Skull Servant deck built. What does that deck even do? Like what? Um Yeah, Omega being an auto sim is nice, I will say. Stuff like that helps a lot. I do have that deck. Or do I have full Archmage Canine built? Yeah, I do. I do. Do I have this deck built? Yeah, I do. Nothing's banned out of this. Uh, I think let's we my opponent last game literally just uh did their full combo, got to RDA, messed up, and then conceded. So let's see if we can get a game where we actually get to play. Well, okay. Not looking amazing. Oh my god. But how do you OTK with that? Or you don't FTK, I guess. You're OTKing. You're winning on. Oh, I see, I see. Well, I do love meme lists. So like I am here for it. Like I'm on board. Mm. Oh, they put me on the play. Okay. Interesting. Terrifying. I feel like I'm getting hand trapped or something to death. Oh. Well, either they're toggled and they have nothing. If they have nothing, they are dead. Okay, no Droll Lockbird. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't seen this combo before, allow me to show you how it works. You activate Habakiri, you get Saji, you use Saji, you get the old Ritual. Then once you have Mitsurugi Ritual, you get to Ritual Summon Habakiri from your hand. You use the Makoto. You use the. It doesn't really matter. I will use the Armesa so that I can chain block the Makoto effect. Yeah. This game is over if they have nothing. It seems like they have nothing. I don't know what they could have that would be like that they wouldn't have played yet. Nib, I guess Nib is the one thing this combo does not play through Nib. I will add. It doesn't really matter technically. I will add this one to my hand, but it doesn't fully matter. So then we activate this one. Summon from deck. Summon Futsu. Tribute Habakiri in play. So this is summon number 3, right? So this is summon number 4. We will we will potentially adjust our play if we think they have Nib. So if we get a pause after 5, we'll think about it. So I have not normal summoned yet, importantly. So this normal is 5. And they pause. So, okay, so they probably have Nib, which is fine. I think I can't kill them through Nib, but I do still think we get to build a pretty good board and we have Droll and Lockbird, so like we can't be that upset. Let me confirm that we can't kill them through Nib. I believe that we add this. Yeah, we can't kill them through Nib, but we do just like get this back. We get to get the it doesn't really matter actually. Get the Mitsurugi Great Purification. Special summon this in defense position. And then I will use the mirror to summon the Murakumo in my hand. Attributing this. I'm just going to discard the Fuelos. This is technically an inaccuracy, I think. But I didn't keep a cheat sheet or anything. So like the thing about this deck looks more complicated than it actually is. The big thing is if you do get to just do your combo with this deck, it's literally just make 2 8s, make 2 4s, and you win the game. And then you just have to memorize it's only 4 summons that win you the game. It's pretty fast. The only thing that gets a bit weird with this deck is when you have to start memorizing the lines for if they do have disruptions. And when that happens, obviously, it does get a little bit harder. But even then, I find it's like mostly fine. So I think I'm supposed to make IP Masquerena with Murakumo and Nib token. And then because you only have 1 prayers now, it gets a little bit weird. But because I'm planning to Droll and Lockbird my opponent, I guess there was an argument for activating prayers. I'm just going to set it, though. I'll just set prayers, set purification, and pass. I have Droll. I have 1 Omni through some amount of disruption. If they somehow can combo back to me, I have Murakumo. I think... Oh, interesting. We're playing against King's Sarcophagus. I kind of want to Omni this because it makes my Murakumo summon bad. This is always a little sketchy when you have to pop the Futsu with the purification. You'd obviously rather do literally anything else, but still fine, I think. Okay, so Mitsurugi Mirror comes back. Oh, okay, yeah. We got there. Okay, excellent, perfect, easy game. We actually played some Yu-Gi-Oh! That game, so that's good. Opponent surrendered. I think, so what was going to happen there, I don't know exactly what they had, but they were getting Omni'd, and then I was getting Futsu back. I didn't have that much more in the tank in terms of disruption. I could make either Dynamoto or SP on their turn as another disruption, and I had the Raigeki from Murakumo still going. So I don't know. I think that we were probably winning that game, but we must have been winning that game because they conceded for a reason. Yeah, we played more Yu-Gi-Oh than last time. We took game actions. You know, it's interesting, Jobo, that you said that you tap out at Storm. I think that this deck, like this Mitsu FTK deck, is easier to play than Storm. So like very broadly, like it did help me that I played a lot of Mitsurugi before coming to this game, so before coming to this deck. So like what's going on with this deck is if you have Habakiri or some way to search it, you get to make 2 4s and 2 8s by just doing like the regular Mitsurugi stuff. Because you only have 1 prayers now, you do have to use your only prayers on your turn in order to make the second 4. But then once you have all that material, you make Machinex. This searches rank up magic. You rank up magic the Machinex into the Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. Then you detach the Machinex from it as material. Then you are able to overlay the full Proton Dragon to go back down to 8. This gets back the rank up magic. Then you rank up magic to the Fanatics Machinex. This gets back this one on your side, and it gets back the rank up magic again. And then once you have all of these in play, it's important you don't do it first because this negates everything. You can then turn the 2/4s into Raider's Knight, which you then detach a material from to make Fiend Eagle, and then you use Mechanics to give your opponent the Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, and then you burn them twice. Basically, you can rank up Magic one last time for the Giant Hunter, and you Fiend Eagle it first, and then you Giant Hunter it. So it's really, I know that sounds like a lot of steps, but it's like 5 summons. It's like, uh, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I guess it's 6 summons if you count the Fiend Eagle Raiders Knight as one. So it's really not that much in terms of the combo lines. And all you really need to think about when you're getting to the combo is that you need 2/8s and 2/4s. And as long as you keep in mind getting to 2/8s and 2/4s, the rest of the combo is pretty forgiving. Um, Whereas like a deck like Storm, there's a lot more non-deterministic elements to it, depending on what version of the deck you're playing. I really like Storm decks for what it's worth. I am a degenerate combo player for sure. So I'm not. I'm maybe the wrong person to ask in some ways, but yeah, exactly. You do just have to memorize stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like there are like general notions of what kind of material you need to get to, but a lot of the time that does require memorizing specific lines to get that material. Yeah, exactly. Like you're not juggling like mana or your storm count. You don't have to worry about figuring out how you're going to cast 2 extra spells in this loops. I haven't. I've had a lot of people ask about that actually, about playing the retro formats. It's not that I wouldn't. It's honestly mostly to do with the fact that like, as we saw somewhat recently, I don't love manual simulators as a way to play card games. Mostly just because like why would I play on a manual sim when I don't have to? But I did, like, for example, they did that throwback event a little while ago on Master Duel, which was like, what was it? It was like 2000s era OCG decks. I found that format really fun, and I think I would like Edison and Goat. Like those formats sound like my kind of jam. It's mostly just a matter of like, is it worth going and playing them on something like Dueling Book or Omega? Yeah, I've had people recommend Toss format as well, which is like kind of in the middle, right? That's like, what is that? Late 2010s? It's like a little bit, the gameplay is like a little bit slower than what we would kind of think about as like modern Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, manual sims when you're playing with the homies is great. Like if you're just playing with one of your friends, manual sims are awesome. 100%. They're great for that. And that's what I've done. Like most of my Riftbound playing on TCG Arena has been with friends. Um and it's like it's 2019. Okay, yeah, I nailed it. Nice. The other older format that I kind of want to play is Tearlament. I would like to learn Tearlament format. I think that would be kind of interesting. I feel like people talk about like the skill expression in that format, and I've watched like some videos of it, and I obviously believe it because it obviously like feels like a format with a lot of interaction points. But like at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I Part of me worries that like, is it too high power level? Like, are we pod racing a little bit too much? Find match. I want to play this deck. Let's see. The Spelemental's best of one deck. Yeah, yeah, fully graveyard based. It's kind of interesting, the history of like how of whether or not games involve their graveyard. And there's like a really I feel like games that have the graveyard be a relevant zone are just waiting to build a mechanic that is too good for the graveyard. And I think as a result, uh a bunch of more modern TCGs have just said like, you know what, the graveyard is dead to us, like once a card goes to the graveyard, like the only thing that can happen with it is that maybe it comes back through like some kind of regrowth effect that you pay resources for, but we're not going to have things like trigger when they go into the graveyard, which I think is kind of funny. Okay, we are playing against... This looks to be a combo deck of some sort. Maybe it's a control deck? Either way, I'm just going to keep the sleight of hand and get rid of the practical joke. Oh my god. Or impractical joke, I should say. I think I want my 4th land. I think that sounds pretty good. Let's sleight of hand. Do I want my 5th land? No, I'll just take the Prismari Charm. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily get degenerate quickly, but it gets degenerate eventually, because, like, as a designer, it's just, like, eventually you feel the siren's call of, like, letting something happen as a trigger when it goes to the graveyard instead of making people pay resources for it. And it's like, whenever that happens, like, Tearlament, Dredge, Oops All Spells, like, there's just... It's like, it does just eventually cause problems. Do I have any One Piece players in the chat? Did this happen in One Piece? I've been really curious about kind of like the history of that game. Like the Nami deck that got banned. Did that get banned because it was milling itself, or was it like a deep draw deck? Okay, so the question here, I think, is, do we pay 2 life for sure? Lightning Helix. Oh, I'm playing against 4-color control. Okay, I now know what I'm playing against. So, because this is a control deck, I am going to, go for double Eddie Merc Crab here. I think my opponent is getting a bit greedy here with this second stock up. Because they missed a land drop. That's why. Okay. They are all gas, which is not great news for me, because I would guess that one of these is dying. Oh no, they're just discarding a hand size. Wow. Okay, that's good for me. So let's get in for 10. So the consideration here is I can play the Sunderflock, put a 3rd lethal attacker in play, which is better insulated against them having multiple removal spells. It forces them to have a Wrath, but it's really bad if they have a Wrath. They could also, I guess, have Inevitable Defeat, which would put them to 11, which would mean that I wouldn't have lethal, right? Does Prismari Charm... Oh, no, Prismari Charm would give me lethal if they have Inevitable Betrayal. Or Inevitable Defeat. We could also lead on Flow State and try and find a counterspell. It's, like, kind of attractive to me as well. Yeah, maybe we'll try this. If we find a counterspell... Okay, well, that's good. That's quite good. I could take the land, or I can take the second Flow State. I think I'll take the second Flow State. Okay, so now, because I have all this, I have follow-up, I think I'm just going to play the Sunderflock. And if they have the Wrath, they have the Wrath, but I have Hearth Elemental plus Flow State. Yep. This was always a risk. Okay. Wow. This Flow State card's pretty good, hey? So for reference, the reason I'm getting to draw 2 is because I have an instant and sorcery in my graveyard. It's not like totally free. Again, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound here. I should have sleight of handed first. This is another inaccuracy. Let's take the Burst Lightning. We're getting close to just being able to burn my opponent out. Yeah, I know Oops is playable on Arena now. That's pretty funny. Ill-timed explosion. I mean, they have 5s in their deck, so this is potentially capable of removing the Hearth Elemental, but not a guarantee. They discarded a 7. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay, that's second Burst Lightning. Oh, I'm a land away from winning the game here. Okay, so let's go for Flow State. Just keep deep drawing. This also, okay, nice. We'll take second Burst Lightning, or third Burst Lightning, and we'll take Opt. If I had another red source, I haven't hit my land drop yet. I'm going to point one Burst Lightning at them here, because if they have a counter spell, yeah, I think this is fine. I think I would like to... Okay, that's fine. So they can normalize this, and then I will point this one at their face, and then I'll let them take their turn. And now I just have this Burst Lightning as a win condition if they tap out for something like this. Yep, that's fine. So this doesn't do anything. I will cast this Op. Yeah, so some of that is related to your algorithm. If it's only recommending that, it means you've clicked on one before, which is like really weird. This doesn't add mana, right? No, yeah, it just draws cards. All right, we got there. Cool. Took down 4-color control. Okay, so we've had 2 much more real feeling games of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic to start, so that's good. Yeah, I know. And it's really hard to resist the urge to make negative content about trading card games. Like the sad reality is it's the content that gets views. Like if you look at my channel, and like I'm like a brand new content creator basically in the space, like my videos that have done the best are the videos that either explicitly seem negative or are at least implied that they might be negative. And it's just like, it just sucks. Like I wish that I could make content that was like just enthusiastically positive off the rip. And like, and to be fair, I think I try to be more reasonable about it once you actually click into the video. I don't try to just like completely shit on games or whatever. But yeah, like it's so much easier to like title a video like I wish I could tell you Riftbound is amazing and get a ton of views, or get more views than it is to make content that is like enthusiastic about new games. It's also, especially when you're not doing like live play, is the one category I think where like you do get to be like really enthusiastic about it. But yeah, overall it's just like it's kind of a shame. Like I really wish it was possible and to do it, or I wish more people would do it. Like I try not to be like really negative all the time. Like obviously like there are times where you just like you do feel negative about something and it's worth like saying that, but I try not to only see the negative in things and only like talk about how poor the experience is, because like the reality is too, like we're all still playing these games and it's not like we're not just addicted. Like obviously part of it is that we're all addicted, but like they are fun. Like they are still fun. And like yes, we all acknowledge sometimes that there are like significant balance issues or that there are behaviors from companies that are exceptionally frustrating, but like uh I mean, I did a video of MTG players react to Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesis cards, but again, I tried to game showify it with my friends who actually know how to guess points because they play a points managed format. Um, but like that video, interestingly, had a much worse click through rate. I will tell you. Like it got a lot of impressions. It ended up on a lot of people's feeds, but I think people are starting to get a little bit more disillusioned with that style of content, or they care very specifically about who the person reacting is more than just like the general concept of it, I think. I know for me too, like my thumbnails could be better, and by could be I mean definitely need to be better. Like that's something that I'm like looking to improve on as a content creator, is just like the overall production value of everything in my content. But how's volume level on Shadowverse? I know last time it was a little high. Hey, Dark Aura Lord. Okay, so like my partner loves Canva, so maybe I need to solicit her to help me with the Canva of it all. Okay, sound is good. Okay, perfect. Let's jump in here. Okay, so last time we like basically won the game by accident on turn 3. That was like turn 6, but and I don't want to change the actual like content of my videos that by much. I think it's mostly just like I do think I could add more in the way of like B-roll and context establishing video, but I wouldn't talk differently or rely on the existence of video to do that. All right, nice. I have a 2, I have a 3, I have a 5. We can chuck this back to look for something a little bit better. Okay, Perfect Petty Predator is good too. Abysscraft, which is what my opponent is playing, is oftentimes kind of aggressive. Yeah, I think that's the other reason. I think that's the other reason why it didn't do as well. Is like I think for a lot of people it was like unexpected for my content to look like that, and I get that. It's not really like the standard style of my content on this channel anyway. But yeah, I just like wanted to do a video with my friends, and it was a thing that made sense to do to me. Okay, so this is like kind of inefficient, but is fine. We're just gonna clear their board. They do appear to be relatively aggressive. So we'll just try and get ahead. Oh yeah, missed timing is missed timing is definitely a Yu-Gi-Oh! Only idiosyncrasy, and I think it is a product of the time in which the game was designed, for sure. I don't think that the missed timing is something that you would intentionally design into a game currently, if I had to guess. So like I could just hold on to this Cagliostro. Basically the way this card works is it wants you to evolve your units, and if you get to a certain amount of evolves, you get a much more powerful effect out of the deal. Just trying to decide like what the most efficient turn here is. I do think I want to just take them off of any play, so we'll go for this. I don't need to deal 2 damage, and then I will trade. A lot of Shadowverse's gameplay is centered around making sure you clear your opponent's board. Because the evolve mechanic functionally gives everything rush, it means that, yeah, see, so like my opponent has a board clear now, and like this is really, really normal for the mid game of these games to basically be trading off board clears. And similarly, like I'm going to clear my opponent's board now too. Missed timing, people can explain it better in the comments than I can, but the basic idea of it is that in Yu-Gi-Oh! It is possible for cards to trigger at a time where they are not allowed to trigger. So stuff can happen in a sequence where your card can't actually put its trigger on the stack because it's not the right time in the resolution chain of effects. And it is a relic of a bygone era of design. We would not design cards with mistiming as a possibility anymore, I don't think. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty down to just go for the old Muriel and reset.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Get some evolves going on here.
Bye-bye now.
I'm at 20, feeling pretty safe. Yeah, I actually really like Shadowverse. I'd love to find more time to play this game. I found it pretty fun. They've actually even, like, the times that I played, the balance wasn't even ever that bad. Like, it wasn't, like, incredible. Like, there were obvious outliers power level wise, but it wasn't, like, egregious. This summons a skeleton, hey? So I think this matchup is quite hard for my opponent. I believe... I just want to be clearing the board as much as possible. So that's going to summon a skeleton. But I don't really even think that's that much damage. Deal with damage, can't sigil. That's like a decent clearing tool. Oh, I didn't mean to play this. I think it's fine. I'll have to play Witch's Brew next turn, but say la vie. And then we can evolve this. Yeah, this one read really powerful to me. I crafted this deck this morning. I was trying to work out what to play last night. I was looking at like what the most popular strategies were, and I had more of these cards, so this is what I landed on. But oh yeah, if they're Odining for no damage to face, that's probably good for me.
Behold the might of the Supreme Primarch.
Cool. So I'm almost at Super Skybound Art. I could like technically get to it. I think it's just this Witch's Brew. Activate it because I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat my last Earthright. I don't think. How close is this? This is quite close to going off. I think we'll just make another barrier golem, honestly, and I won't use both Earthrights. I'll just use the one. I could evolve this, but I don't think I need to. I'll just save my super evolves for next turn. Yep.
As deadly as showbiz.
I love the animations in this game. It's so sick. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So this is what I mentioned about the fact that
Perfectly good material.
this game is about big splashy plays that swing the board tempo back and forth. And, oh yeah, I had too many cards in hand. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, we'll start with this. Get this thing off the board. That's definitely gotta go. And now I have the Cagliostro trigger. I get to evolve. And then I will, I think, just go for this trade, make some more Earthrights. Put another annoying thing on the board for them to deal with. I don't know. Maybe I'm playing this turn wrong, but we shall see. Yeah, I mean, Shadowverse is definitely taking a lot of the ideas from Riftbound, but it's doing what I appreciate about it is that they are really enthusiastically leaning into the fact that this game is like very, very high power level and like a bunch of degenerate stuff happens in this game, and they're not trying to like pretend that that's not true. Or like there's no there's no like there's no illusions basically of like this game being low power. Like obviously this game is crazy high power, but I think that's pretty fun. So then we'll do this, take this out. When you super evolve, your unit doesn't take damage while attacking and tramples through for 1, so that adds some kind of interesting combat math elements. Now, I will say, I'm at 12, and Abysscraft is the deck that has burn in this game, so like, I don't actually know the breakpoints yet, I could be dead at 12. A lot of the math, or a lot of the like the skill expression in Shadowverse is related to kind of like understanding breakpoints and understanding like what you're allowed to do on your turn contextually based on what your opponent's potential damage output is. Yeah, I would have guessed that there would be a bit more crossover between Yu-Gi-Oh! And Shadowverse, but at the same time, like, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has Master Duel and you can play Master Duel on your phone, I think it's like if you are a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, like, you maybe just play the game that you can already play.
No zombie can resist this.
Yep, I go to 10. They're ghostly swarring.
I want this and that. Ooh, and that too.
Wait, is this?
Give me a
Oh,
taste.
okay. I just win the game. Crazy. That is, that's quite powerful. So, the way I win the game here is, give this thing -2, or +2, -2, and then I also blast him in the face. Okay, 2-0 in Shadowverse. Pretty good. Yeah, so this game is really swingy, and there are some decks that are like basically the macro archetypes in this deck are like aggro, control, and combo. So the aggro decks are trying to like rush down the other decks, obviously, and you play something like on curve, and you oftentimes are going to end up with like no resources towards the end of the game. Then you have like kind of like mid-range control decks that are just trying to survive and then eventually play like 9 and 10 cost cards that win the game. And then you have combo decks that are trying to spend as few resources as possible while they cobble together some kind of combo that can win the game. Typically over 2 turns. Like there's not as many like 1-turn kills in this game. But yeah. Okay, we're gonna play Marvel Snap, and well, yeah, let's play some Marvel Snap. Shadowverse. I would like to get to 5. 5 would be ideal, but I think Snap is gonna be a tough one. I think we got kind of lucky to win that first game, if I'm being really honest. Yeah, I think that's true too. That people who are endemic Yu-Gi-Oh players are often the least likely to cross over to different games. I think that I've heard that as well. They are the most different, I think. Like there's the fewest kind of like touch points for Yu-Gi-Oh that you would find in another game that would make you want to try that game as well. So like I get where that's coming from, like where that notion is coming from. Yeah, I know for Flesh and Blood, I think they have realized that the game is too expensive, and they've recently released a format that is called Silver Age, that is like the equivalent of like Pauper in Magic. It's like commons, uncommons, and I think rares, right? Or is it just commons and uncommons? Which is clearly being done in an effort to get people in the door, because there are issues. I don't think it's not a rotating game. They have a very cool ban and restricted solution though, which is that leaders basically like acquire points as people win tournaments with them, and then once a leader acquires enough points, they are basically like put in the vault. They're functionally banned. And so as a result, it's like a lot easier to kind of like predict what you might want to play. Common, rare, and basic, apparently. Interesting. Okay. I do want to just play the Deadpool, I think. But yeah, so I think that's kind of like an interesting thing about the Flesh and Blood system, is that they are much better about how they manage that part of the game, that ban and restrict element of the game. But yeah, I mean, standard is not that cheap though. Magic cards are crazy. Yeah. Flesh and Blood does just have like some, oh, never before seen card, huge. Flesh and Blood does just have some staples that are like truly unapproachable feeling, I think, sometimes.
Hello.
But alright, I'm gonna snap and see if I can get my opponent out of this game. This is the gambling element where you're basically trying to bet on them leaving the game. Oh, thank you, Amazements. Yeah, I think that would be fun too. I don't know if people saw, I did that video with Farfa. And he did ask me, like, you know, if I wanted to do something with him at some point, and I was gonna potentially try and get him to play like Legacy or something, like, or show him some more like Eternal Magic formats to see if I could change his mind a little bit on the overall degeneracy of the game. All right, what are we doing here? So Null into Onslaught Citadel is very powerful. I would love to try to set up a situation where I can guarantee my Arnim Zola is going to work the way I want it to, but I think that unfortunately that is not going to be a thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Deadpool here. I'm going to Arnim Zola the Venom. What that's going to do is I'm going to get a big thing here plus Deadpool, and I'm going to grow my Null. And I think that is what I'm going to bet on for winning me the game. Nom 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 nom.
What a game!
Lockjaw jump scare. Yeah. Kitty Pride, not that scary. Nico, is this the swap? No, it's fine. Howard the Duck. Wow, they are really brave if they so like one of the cards that I can have in my deck is called Killmonger. That's him, and it removes all 1 costs. So the question here is, do I play Killmonger plus Deadpool plus Nico, or do I just play Null plus Deadpool? I think the play is just Null plus Deadpool. Replace that card's location. I don't want to replace any locations, I don't think, so we'll just chuck this. Oh, that should have gone somewhere else. Ay. Well, we might lose here. They could have one of the big disruptive cards. Magneto. Oh, yeah, clever. Oh, I still win. man, it's just too easy, you know? It is just... Like, when I was thinking about doing this as a stream, I was like, surely I'm gonna get stuck on like level 1 or 2 of this like 100 times before we even get to anything higher. And so I didn't even have official sim game prepared for for anything beyond this. Oh, weekly challenge missions, 100 credits. So one of the big draws for this game here, I'll just show people really quick. One of the reasons why I think people really gravitate towards this game is like, if you're a big art person, they give you like just so many like reasons to be excited about your cards, because not only do you get art, but you can customize like all of the elements around it. And then the way that you actually do card acquisition in this game, sorry, I'm not doing this. The way that you actually do card acquisition in this game is by upgrading the appearance of your cards. So like here, please try again. All right. I'm trying to advertise here for you, Marvel Snap, but let's try it one more time. So the way that you do card acquisition in this game is you upgrade your card. I bet this isn't going to work again. Okay, there we go. So you actually like upgrade the quality of the card. This is going to upgrade the border, and then you also get progress on like a progress track. And it's kind of cool because it's like one of the first games that really like the main, like you are actually, not only are aesthetics something that like they're trying to monetize secondarily, but there are elements of aesthetics that are just core to acquiring the collection. Oh my god, this is hideous. Which I think is kind of nice. The one thing, the monetization for this game used to be pretty bad. And now I think it is more in line with a pretty reasonable one. And so this is the really cool thing you get to do. Once you get your card to infinity rarity, which is where we're at now, you can split it, and then you get like fancy new backgrounds. You get like this kind of like effect here. Yeah, prism white plus white tone finish, very cool. And then I'm gonna level up, get other options. So yeah, that's the Marvel Snap economy. Pretty cool, pretty neat. Okay, so let's try Star Wars for 5 this time. To be really honest, that Riftbound experience was pretty poor last time, and I don't really want to have to deal with that. And the Star Wars sim is actually manual, or it's actually auto. It's just unofficial. Okay, so are people enjoying this, by the way, as a concept? Do we like playing a bunch of different games? I put out the poll and variety won, and frankly, like, I would prefer to do variety. Like, I like this kind of style, but I also know that jumping around is a bit weird. What the fuck is Shadowverse? It's a digital trading card game. People have called it anime Yu-Gi-Oh! Or anime Hearthstone before. Oh, Hearthstone. That's a game I should have installed. God. Oh my god, I blundered so badly. All right, well, that's okay. Next time. All right. I think I might try this again, and we'll add more games that are officially supported, and maybe because like for example, we could try to add Pokemon TCG Live. Yeah, you know, breaking into Yu-Gi-Oh is tricky. I think I might make a video specifically about how I would go about learning to play. I know, like, I have a video talking about how I learned how to play, but I think that some of the things that I did were like objectively wrong. Like they were not the correct way to go about getting into the game. And I think that there are some things that you could do that would make it easier. I will say, like, just as a starting point, you want to try and learn a non-meta archetype. Yeah. Non-meta archetype. Yeah, that makes it harder for sure. Although, like, you can typically find people who are excited about it. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, is that like we could mostly just chat and the gameplay would, like, I can give context for the gameplay sometimes, but obviously like sometimes it's just gonna be it's almost gonna be background noise for some people. But thanks everyone for showing up, by the way. Very exciting. I had no idea how many people to expect for our first stream. Yeah, I think sorcery is unlikely to ever create a TCG, if I had to, or a digital client, if I had to guess. Yeah, I also agree. R.I.P. Legends of Runeterra. I missed that one, but is this not a supported? Not supported, right? Got it. Not supported. Okay. Ugh. What's the best way to do this? Sorry, I'm in the process of creating a deck list so that I can play on the unofficial Star Wars sim, and it's it's causing me more issues than I would care to admit. What decks do I have loaded? Oh, you know what? I have this deck. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's web browser. Yeah. Okay, so this is Carabas. This is the Star Wars Unlimited unofficial sim. Yeah, I do like this one. It does have sounds, so we'll have to make sure they're not too loud.
Hello there.
Okay, we're good. The nice thing about this versus Riftbound is that it is a fully auto unofficial sim. So I will go first. If you have never played Star Wars, I will give you the kind of Cliff's Notes on what's going on here. So there are two arenas, space and ground. We are trying to reduce our opponent's life to 0. They have 35 health because of the base. Oh. Well, we won't count that. We'll try again. Okay, save deck list.
Hello there.
Okay, so we have ground and space. We each have a base with 30 life points, and essentially what we are trying to do is it is a you go, I go action game. So my opponent went first. They did this. I did this. Now for their next action, they claimed the initiative, which means they will go first next turn. And yeah, the game is really sweet. I think it is like exceptionally skill expressive because of the kind of you go, I go of it all. Which I think is my favorite part about the game, to be honest, is just how skill expressive it is. So I'm going to claim the initiative here. Rio is good. Rio is very good. I think I'm just going to resource this. My deck is maybe a weird one to see as your first Star Wars Unlimited deck. So the basic idea behind my deck is that my leader donates units to the opponent, and in exchange for donating units to the opponent, I get to make credits, which are like treasures in Magic, in the Magic context. And then when my leader flips, which is like what happens when it deploys, I get to destroy units that aren't mine, or that my opponent owns, but that I own, that my opponent controls. And and as a result, you get to draw cards and make more treasures. And it is overall just a very kind of silly, degenerate deck. I think I have to get rid of this aggressive negotiations. I think we're going to lose this game, by the way. just based on what's going on right now. Yeah, there is a Cyberpunk TCG. I actually have a whole video about my thoughts on the Cyberpunk TCG on the channel. I think the gameplay looks really interesting. I'm a little wigged out by the monetization model. I think that, or rather, I should say, I'm a little wigged out by the fact that they did a Kickstarter. I just think it's a bit odd. I don't think that there's anything like really expressly wrong um, with the fact that they did a Kickstarter, but I just worry for the health of the game long term because of the use of the Kickstarter model, I guess is what I would say. Um, but the actual gameplay looks eminently reasonable. Like really, like I don't have anything negative to say about the actual game itself. Um, so what I'm doing here is I'm threatening their unit, which means I'm gonna get to use it to kill their other unit, and then this is gonna bounce back to their hand. We're in a good spot here. I think we are gonna win this game, actually. Use the ability. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll trigger it. Oh my god. We got value. I didn't even think about the value. Yeah, like the stretch goals and stuff, like I don't know, it just felt a bit weird to me that that was the approach that they decided to take for this new game. Like but it's not like I don't think that it necessarily means the game is going to be bad by any means. I just it really can't. Oh, I messed up last turn. Darn. I really can't say anything else about it other than like it just feels a bit weird to me. Lawbreaker. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We are now in much worse shape than I originally thought we were. Yeah, the cap at 7 turns is a bit weird. I noted that in my video too, that like that does feel like it has the potential to limit the amount of different macro archetypes that get to exist, which would be a bummer, obviously. Like, but okay, they have claimed. I am passing. Okay, AN is good. AN is very good. So aggressive negotiations is like one of the more iconic cards in Star Wars right now. You attack with a unit and then you get to give things additional health based on, or you get to deal additional damage based on the amount of cards in your hand. Okay, so either we're gonna win this game, get to 5, or we're gonna lose this game. We're gonna go back to 0. But unfortunately, this is my last game. I'm gonna end stream after this. How do I win this game? I have to resource this one. A TCG where you have to pet your cat. I mean, I would be down for a TCG where you have to pet your cat. That sounds fun to me. I would be on board. What did they do? They killed that. They went to 6. Yeah, this is a spooky spot for sure. Not optimal, to say the least. So we'll go up to 8 here. I'm at 17. Yeah, I think we're gonna lose this game. I think we are going to lose this game. Okay, I go to 23. I will... I think I have to take this out because it takes them off Annihilator. Yeah, no, they do that. I do this. They claim. I can go aggressive negotiations for 3, and then I can go shielded, pass, and then I think I die. Believe the answer is I die because they have 13 in the air, and I cannot deal enough damage to them. Oh, and I'm not even logged in. I can't even say GG. All right, well, I will concede. Okay, back down to 0. Well, this was fun. I had a great time doing this. Maybe we'll run this challenge back. I'll try and get a couple more official sim games queued up as well, so that we can we don't have to deal with trying to figure out what unofficial sim games to play. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna try and do this a bit more often. I have some fun ideas for stuff that I think will be better suited to stream versus like more long form video content. So I'll have to figure out exactly where we're gonna do what. Oh, I am sorry, and I think in the future I may try and go live a little bit earlier. Like I went live today a bit later than I probably normally will, but I slept in a bit. But anyway, thank you to everyone who tuned in. It was lots of fun. I'm really glad that everyone tuned in and enjoyed the stream, and I will